You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Hello, welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. My name is Dan Rowanson. For the second time since Christmas, I'm ill again. Got the same thing as I had the other day. Went away, came back, and I've not been able to go to Villa Park tonight because I've had a temperature and all. Moan. Sitting in the cold and yeah, not good for me. So I've been shivering and under a blanket and all sorts. And my voice sounds terrible. So apologies for that. How are you, Matt? Surely better than I am.
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I've got it's Friday evening. Villa have kicked off the weekend with a victory, and I've got a can of beer on the go. So yeah, I'm all right. I'm not too bad.
I've got the world's biggest water bottle here.
Bloody hell.
2 litre. I've been scranning these over the last couple of days trying to get myself better.
Christ.
But what makes you feel better is an Aston Villa win, doesn't it? And that's what we're here to talk about for the next half an hour or so. Two slightly different perspectives than usual because you were there, I wasn't. I just spoke to you before we came on about a comment from Gary Neville on commentary. Someone tweeted me about this. I thought the commentary was bizarre from Gary Neville and Seb something. Very like just jokey and throwaway comments about nothing. And like, he's got some pitch markings on his face and they're like laughing like little kids and stuff. It's just very pro Leeds. I've just seen the clip back of the Martinez save, which we'll talk about in a sec. And it's like world-class save from the goalkeeper, but the Leeds move, it's so good, the ball in. It's like, all right, just calm down a bit. The save is the highlight there, not what the Leeds move. So I thought the commentary was weird, but the comment that Gary Neville said at the end was that it was the best atmosphere he'd seen at Villa Park this season. Now, I don't know whether that came across on TV to me, so I asked you, what did you think? So can you share the same answer for the people watching?
I was trying to think. It wasn't the worst. I don't think it was the best. Like I said, I thought the Leeds fans always come and have a little bit of a sing-song anyway. It built to a climax as Villa went to win the game. You know what I mean? It was. I don't think it was bad, but I don't know how many times Gary Neville's been to Villa Park.
I thought that. Yeah.
To be fair to Gary Neville, he tends to always say nice things about Villa Park. Probably because he's the player who won there most seasons.
I've seen him say a few times about it's one of his favourite football grounds apart from Old Trafford, obviously. And like you said, I think part of the reason is one, its history and blah blah. But Man United won there all the time as well. Let's do as we always do. Go back to team news announcement first. Jacob Ramsey's back in there. Moreno's on the bench. Say the rest of it's pretty much as you'd expect. Ashley Young playing at right back because no cash. What did you make of the lineup? Is that our best team at the moment? Do you think? Still persisting with Bailey and Buendia?
Before the game, I'd have probably said no.
Yeah,
but I think Ramsey being back was a big boost. I still think I don't think it was the best game that he's ever had. I think there's a lot more to come from him. And Ashley Young switching Ashley Young at right back. He's brilliant, isn't he? I'm just amazed. He never, every week he gets another week older, but he's still as fit, he's still as quick, he's still as streetwise. I think he's a really, really, really special player. He's obviously gone and achieved a lot in his career, but to still be doing it at that level. When we thought he was probably going to be a bit part player and perhaps kind of pave his way into a coaching role at Villa, I think he's been in Villa's top 3 most consistent players so far this season.
Agreed. Yeah, there was a moment like again going back to the commentary. They were raving about Ashley Young throughout the game, and then it got to like 65, 70 minutes, and the Leeds winger he was against, I forgot his name, Noppo or something like that, Nocco.
Yeah.
They're like, Ashley Young's starting to show his age now, and it's like, I don't agree with that. I thought he was.
He's a good player, to be honest.
But I still thought Ashley Young had his number for the most part.
Yeah.
I was slightly sceptical when we signed Ashley Young from the off, thinking his age and whatnot. And then when he re-signed up for the following year, I kind of thought, he might only play 5 or 6 games, and he might be a good head around the coach and a good. Kind of good example in the dressing room, but surely he won't play that much. So for him to go from, from that to what he's doing, he didn't go from that. It's my expectations of him was that he might not play so much. For him to be playing pretty much every week at left back or right back, he has played slightly further forward as well at some stages, but to be so consistent at his age, and you could look at if you didn't know anything about football and you were watching that game as my missus watching it next to me, and they said, "How old do you think Ashley Young is?" That you'd guess 25, 26, 27. No one says 37 because he doesn't look like a player of that age, and that's testament to his own fitness and his own kind of mental
and his own kind of skincare routine as well. I think.
What? Sorry,
his own skincare routine.
Yeah, he looks great, doesn't he? Good head of hair still as well. I know he shaves it, but he's got a good set of hair. Yeah, fair play, Ashley Young. I saw somebody on Twitter saying about like Ronaldo going off at 36 or 37 or whatever he is to find money elsewhere, and you've got somebody like Ashley Young, this like consummate pro, going off to Italy, winning a trophy there, coming back to England at his age and playing consistently week in, week out. Yeah, very good, and there's no reason not to extend his contract again if that's a possibility that Emery wants, which, whilst he's playing, seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
Yeah, and younger than Gabriel Bonhor.
Yeah, Christ. Yeah, you're always surprised.
Older than Gabriel Bonhor, sorry.
Yeah. Talk to me about Boubacar Kamara. How good is that boy?
Well, he was the other one I was going to rave about, to be honest. I thought, and it was a really strange game tonight because I think I don't know whether it's a kind of smash and grab. I don't think Leeds were that brilliant, but I thought we panicked at times as if we were playing. At times we're 1-0 up, and even with 10 or 15 minutes left of the first half, we panicked as if we were in the last minute of a game against some kind of world beaters. So I don't think we did ourselves any favours, with the exception of Kamara, who I think just exudes calm and control. I think he's a hell of a footballer, and I think that's the level that we've got to recruit at. That's the level that all of that existing players have got to strive to reach. I think he's just, I think it's a fantastic bit of business, and he looks so comfortable. And I'm probably, we'll jump about a little bit on this podcast as we usually do. Edry Konsa annoyed me a lot today because I think that it's a bit harsh because we won the game and he didn't really do anything wrong defensively. Other than passing the ball across his own goal mouth at one stage, which had with my heart in my mouth. But if Emery wants us to play out from the back and play methodical football, building up through your defence, Konsa's got to move the ball quicker for me. He looks one way, he looks the other way, he turns back inside 2 or 3 times, and I'm not sure why he's doing it when he's got probably the two central midfielders who are probably more comfortable on the ball in tight areas than we've had before. Certainly more confidence on the ball in those areas than Dendoncker. And we've got 2 fullbacks who Ashley Young will have the ball in tight spaces because he's played at a very high level all the time. And we've got our new guy, Moreno, who's used to playing that way and look comfortable. So I just think, like I said, I'm not digging at Edry Konsa. I'm just thinking, if you've got no other ball, probably give it to Kamara because he will make the right choices and he will look after it basically. But in answer to your question, I think he's brilliant. I think he's a really gifted footballer.
Yeah, and his part played in the first goal as well. You love an early goal, don't you? When you're at Villa Park, it kind of sets the tone in the right way, helps the atmosphere and stuff like that. Again, maybe something that people don't expect in Kamara's game, to be able to burst forward and run with the ball and find the pass as well. To be fair,
everybody, including me, was looking at the pass to Luca Digne out on the left, and he'd already got his mark. So we've just highlighted two players who I think were probably amongst Villa's best 2 players tonight in Young and Kamara, and the parts that they played. If De Bruyne plays that ball that Young's played, then we hear about it. We hear people raving about it for weeks. Ashley Young's picked out that pass. Yeah, it's such a good ball. And then Kamara has used Luca Digne as a brilliant decoy. And fair play to Leon Bailey as well. I was in 2 minds whether he should have started today. I don't know who the alternative would have been. Yeah. But he did, and he still frustrates the hell out of us. But he's had major contributions in both goals tonight, and his pace has given Villa that kind of outlet ball at times where they're inviting pressure on themselves. And he's, sometimes he's invited pressure on us by trying to beat one man too many and losing possession. But considering, the head in the hands after the miss against Wolves and just generally, I thought he was poor. against Stevenage, as were many. So to come back and have the composure to stick that one in the far left corner 3 minutes into the game when he was still probably feeling a bit cold and not really had much of the ball in the game, I thought it was quality.
It's a great finish. There's a lot of Jamaican flag emojis in the comments tonight. There must be a lot of Leon Bailey fans watching. Again, like you just said, frustrates the hell out of us. But you've said many times before on the podcast that that's what a winger is for the most part. Very kind of flaky. Will play well one game and play poorly for a couple and come in and out of games. Yeah, you do wonder if Bailey's not playing at the moment. Obviously, still early on in the transfer window, halfway through the transfer window. If Bailey isn't to play and Buendia is already starting anyway, what is the alternative? Watkins playing out wide and Ings up front potentially.
I'm just sorry, I'm just reading a comment from Wolowski. Bad take on Konza. He's right. The little lifted ball, the little scoop ball that he played was first class. I don't think it was coward. I don't think it was cowardice. I don't think I'm accusing him of that. I'm accusing him of indecision a little bit. Really,
yeah.
I think he can play brave passes, but I think he probably just needs to move it a little bit quicker because losing that, if you are playing from the back, as soon as it then goes back to your goalkeeper, and that's part of moving the ball around the back. But as soon as it does that, if you've got a team playing a high press, they push you back again, and that's where you get panicked. Whereas if you're moving that ball, in my opinion, if you're moving that ball quickly, we can get out faster because we've got people he can move it to who are confident in carrying it forward or moving it on. So I'm not accusing him of being a coward. I'm just accusing him of a little bit of indecision, I think. It's a minor footnote because we won the game.
Yeah, we don't want it to be too moany because let's enjoy a win for a change. Do you think Konsa and Mings are the long-term centre-back pairing? Obviously, Diego Carlos is coming back in a couple of months. I think I saw somewhere recently. We've been linked with centre-halves at stages in the summer and I think in this window as well. What's the future like for Mings and Konsa? Because at one stage, we were talking about Konsa being like this 60 million defender that will end up at Liverpool or something, whereas now I'm not quite sure that is his level at all.
It's the same thing we always refer back to, isn't it? That you've always got to look to improve. So I think Konsa or Mings probably next season becomes one of your first choice reserve centre back potentially, and it's up to those which one wants to seize it. I still think that Mings is the more decisive defender in terms of.
Although his little slip on the halfway line wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to go do Cruyff turns on the halfway line when you've got Leeds who, if nothing else, get about you and try and close the space. So I think that was crying out to be for the anti-Mings brigade to kind of clip that one up and add that to the show reel. But listen, don't want to be. I don't think we gave too much away defensively, to be honest. But you're asking more of your centre halves now. You're asking them to start moves, ball players, and if that's what we need to do, I think we probably are going to have to upgrade gradually in that position. But yeah, I thought, like I'm just saying, did we concede too much defensively? I suppose there was the Martinez. I mean, I still can't. I've not seen that save back. Was it as good?
Unbelievable, yeah.
I don't know where he wasn't in the frame. I thought it was. Listen, I thought it was a good move. I thought, I'm surprised that more players don't cross the volley. When the ball comes to the back post, I'm surprised that more people don't volley crosses across rather than take an extra touch and turn back inside. And so I thought it was a good move. But in my mind's eye, when I was looking at that, I didn't even see Martinez in the frame. I saw an open goal and a close range. He's 6 yards out, 8 yards out.
About that, yeah. I think, again, I've watched it live on TV. I've not seen it back since in the last hour or whatever, hour and a half. I'm pretty sure Martinez is like past the middle of the goal and actually kind of like backpedal back to the other side. And I think he puts both hands out and it hits him in the chest maybe or the shoulder. I don't think he got hands on it, but in the right place at the right time. Just before that as well, I know you just mentioned then about like whipping balls in. There was the one earlier on, which is a minor thing now, given we've won. There was the one that Bailey put across for Watkins. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I thought on the commentary they were kind of slating Watkins for that, saying that he didn't make enough of a progressive move forwards. But I thought Leon Bailey overhit the cross.
I thought the way Bailey had played it looked like he was being quite precise with it. He looked. That's the way he was shaping up. I don't think it was a good ball.
I think it was a bit of both.
I think Watkins is expecting that in a slightly different area.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think he'd have been a little bit more alive to it. But yeah, listen, we splitting hairs a little bit. You know, I'm just so relieved that we emerged with a 3 points. Somebody, my nephew was saying on the way back to the car that I don't know what form table he was looking at, but he reckons Villa are in the second in the form table since Emery took over. So 6 games, 4 wins, a draw and a defeat. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, goals scored 11, goals conceded 7, 13 points. Arsenal would be top with 16, Man United 15, Newcastle 14, then Villa 13. Identical record with Man City. Have also got 13 plus 4. There's another one that I've seen. I know we've played a game more than these sides because we've played tonight, but most points in the Premier League since Emery's first game: 13 for Villa, 13 for Arsenal, 12 Man United, 12 Fulham, 12 Liverpool. But like I said, all those 4 have still got to play. But yeah, some turnaround, isn't it? I think it was something like Emery's got more points in his first 6 games than Gerrard got in his, and he played 13 games or something like that. Which, yeah, we've talked plenty about Steven Gerrard's failings.
You know, like say, if we're splitting hairs about whether Bailey should have taken a little bit off his cross, or Watkins should have gambled a bit earlier, or Conser should be moving the ball quicker. These, nice problems to have, isn't it? It's nice. It's nice us doing this rather than picking fault in why the 4th goal went in our net or whatever. So yeah, it was one of those ones where Leeds come, don't they, with the worst away record or the joint worst away record in the Premier League, and we know the age-old saying, Villa playing out of form teams back into form, so it could have been a banana skin. But I thought that we did enough. That's obvious because we won the game. We did enough, and I think Emery will be annoyed that we're still not really exerting control for long periods of the game. And we're relying on breakaways and stuff like that, which still wins you the game, so we'll still be pleased with that. But I think he wants us to have more control of that football. But it'll come, I'm sure.
Let's talk about the couple of injuries then. Digne going off pretty early on with some kind of shoulder injury. He fell on it, so I don't know whether he dislocated it or whether he's damaged a muscle or something, but he went off kind of holding his arm up, didn't he? So, not a nice one at all. That didn't look. And I think he took a knee to the face as well at the same time.
How did that? Because I saw him again. He was given a ball tight, I think, on the touchline and crowded out by a couple of players. And did he just fall awkwardly, or was it a contact?
Yeah, they came together. Whoever the Leeds player was kind of had a bit of a knee in his face as he went down. As he fell, he fell like. Weird for me to do upside down, but like his arm was like hit the ground first and must have jolted his shoulder kind of out of position, I would guess.
He looked in some pain. He looked like he was going to play. The way his arm when he walked down the touchline, he was like that. And it's weird, isn't it? So we're blessed and lucky in a way that we'd signed a good quality left back just in time, but Emery's not signing for that reason. He's signing, so we've got 2 good good left backs to challenge each other, and then it's sod's law that one of them. Have they said post match?
I've not seen anything. I've not seen anything personally. No, they might have. I imagine he might have a scan or something, possibly. So Moreno comes on. Maybe he wasn't due to come on at all tonight. It was just nice to have him in the squad, or he might have come on for the last 15 minutes or something. I don't think he would have been expecting to have signed on Wednesday and then be coming on 10 minutes in after Digne goes off injured. I thought he took a little bit of time to get going, whether it's just a chemistry thing with his new teammates, a communication thing possibly. I'm not sure. He looked a little bit rusty, I suppose is the word, acclimatised into the Premier League, into his new side. But after that, I actually thought he was quite good. I thought he went forward more than I expected him to. I know I've seen some bits from Ash about his forward thinking left back and could play left wing and all these kind of things, but I still thought his first game, especially coming on in the circumstances, that he might sit in a little bit and try and play it safe and be a little bit steady and a little bit careful. But he looks a great addition, and for 12 odd million, if he's coming on and playing like that after being here for a couple of days, it does make you think, what more can Emery do with this side once he gets another 2, 3, 4 players in there?
Do we know how much he's trained with?
I think he trained once Thursday, and maybe some today.
Bit of a baptism of fire, really. And like you say, I thought he took a little while to adjust. I think possibly the physical side and the pace of it to start with. But he looks comfortable. He looks, again, if we're playing out from the back and you're going to get the ball fizzed into you quickly in tight areas. He looks confident to receive it in those areas, and you know there were times when he did look to get forward. You know, had a chance to score, didn't he? Which I don't know. Yeah. Again, I've not seen a replay back. I don't know whether there was a better option on whether he could have squared it, but you know, why don't you try and have a dig on your debut? So I thought it was encouraging. But you know, listen, I'm not. I hope he goes on to be a brilliant player for us. I thought Luca Digne's debut was encouraging, and I hope there's a competition there. I hope there's a battle there. To be honest, because you know we've probably fallen into the trap of, you know, probably because of the last 10 years of where we've been, that we can't. We're Aston Villa, we're a club that's got used to fighting relegation or battling for mid-table. That if that player's been signed, is an automatic starter or whatever. Why can't we have competition for places in positions? Why can't we have two really good options at least in all of our positions? Yeah, and that's what we've got to strive towards, to be honest, because that will make our first team stronger and mean that the players that we've got to step up when there's injuries and suspensions can actually come in and do a job. I thought he was good. I thought
the clearance is the thing we've not spoken about. I tweeted it because obviously I've been at home, and it was reminding me of the Ashley Young header off the line against Spurs. It was in the end of the first half, and I thought that could be obviously the Martinez save came a couple of minutes after as well, but that Moreno off the line block or clearance, whatever, might be the moment that kind of sees us over the line and galvanises us and makes us think, right, okay, we need to pull our fingers out and see this game out. Good awareness, gets around Martinez, right place, right time, and then the Martinez save comes just after that as well. And then you're thinking, right, we're very lucky and fortunate to be going into half time at 1-0, but if you can take points and win games, not playing great and being in second gear, I don't care, do you?
No, I don't.
I want to win.
I think I don't think they were turning points. I think they protected our lead and stopped Leeds from scoring. I don't think they were the moments that sparked us into life. I thought we were still a little bit kind of,
but it could have been, is what I was thinking,
and stuff. But in terms of protecting our lead, they were really important. It was one of those ones today where it was just, you know, we've scored 2 goals. I thought the second goal came not against the run of play, because I don't think there was a run of play particularly. The second goal was like, oh, okay.
Where did that come from?
We'll take that. And then it was like very Villa. You know, when did Leeds score? 80?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then I was like,
10 minutes left.
I mean, it had to be Bamford, didn't it? I thought.
First goal of the season, was it, I think?
I don't know. And I thought they're going to get one here. They're going to get an equaliser here. But just about got over the line. I mean, tons of injury time again. I mean, I can understand first half with us losing Luca Digne and then losing Ollie Watkins. I think he put 7 up, Board went up for 7, and he played about 9. And then second half, I know there were plenty of subs, but that 6, maybe it's because we were winning the game and I thought we were going to throw it away, but that 6 seemed quite a lot to me.
We time wasted though. There's a lot of discussion about, and you may have spoken about this before, about the time wasting, the like dark arts or whatever you want to call it, and you know, doing the things that delay the game. Again, none of that bothers me for winning games.
I thought the booking for Kamara was harsh. I thought if you're going to book somebody for time wasting there, you probably book the 9 other outfield Villa players who aren't moving into space to give them a pass. Rather than booking
it's one of those things.
I don't think he was time wasting there. I think he was actually thinking, somebody give me an option for this free kick.
Yeah. But 6 months ago, we're not that wise to see games out, and we do concede the equaliser to Leeds, or they get a winner last minute. So if us being a little bit streetwise gets us 3 points and 13 from 18, I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it.
Yeah. You get the Golden Glove for the most clean sheets. I think you should get some kind of award for the most yellow cards for time wasting as a goalkeeper as well, because he is the absolute master of it, isn't he?
Yeah, like the golden hourglass or something.
Yeah, and I think even after he'd been booked, there was a free kick very late on in injury time, and he was just behind the goal, just drinking it out of his water bottle, and it was almost like that kind of distracted kid at school who the teacher has to come back in now. Break time's over. Like Martinez forces referees to do that with him. He's like, come on. But yeah, so he's brilliant at it. He I don't know, don't want to turn it into a anti-Robin Olsen thing, but my nephew said on the way back that he thinks our best player and our worst player are both goalkeepers. both goalkeepers. It's the difference. You know, he never gets flustered in playing the ball. You know, he's a decent ball player. He can play that side of the game. He's shot stopping. His agility is amazing, really.
You wait till you see that save back. I'm gonna enjoy
watching that. I'm hoping my son's left me a slice of pizza, so I'm gonna have a slice of pizza, another can of BrewDog, and enjoy watching Martinez in a minute.
What was the Buendia goal like in the stadium with the VAR? Did you know what was going on? Did you think it was offside?
Well, they'd had one themselves, hadn't they? First half lead. I mean, you tell me, you saw the lines being drawn. Were they? Were they right decisions? Well, the right decisions, they went Villa's way, but were they?
Yeah, I mean, technically they are offside, but it's one of those where you just think the lines are basically next to each other. If that's going against you, you think, oh, that's harsh, but if that's the rule, that's the rule. Yeah. The Villa one, he was not, I wouldn't say clearly onside, but he was, he clearly wasn't offside. Buendia was more onside than the Leeds player was offside. You know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It was just one of those ones where you thought, Bailey's done well again. Lots of times when he goes down cul-de-sacs and makes too many touches and makes many turns, but you think he's beat his man, he's got his shot away, and Buendia's nice and lively and heads it in. It's Buendia over the last couple of seasons scored more headed goals for us than anybody else.
Yeah, he's pretty good in the air, isn't he?
Or am I just imagining that?
No, he does score a couple of headers. We did something the other day. Well, we'll say the other day, the last time he scored, that his goal was a match winner. And something like the 4 of his last 5 goals have been the decisive goal for Villa. And then obviously today's is the match winner as well. So influential goals when he scores as well. They're not just consolation prizes. He's winning us games with his goals, which is, in the first half, I'm thinking, God, we need more from Buendia. He's a passenger in this first half, but ultimately he's busy and his work rate's good, as we know, and he goes on to win the game with his goal. Just a couple of comments. People who've obviously joined late. Someone says, Andrew, why are you not talking about Kamara? We did the Kamara, waxing the club about Kamara about 15 minutes ago, so we have spoken about him.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, so good. I mean, would you say how where would you rank his signing in terms of best players? Best since, I think Martinez is probably the other one, but before that,
he was a bargain, wasn't he? Other than the fortune in wages, but he's earning it. What in terms of signings in the Premier League?
Last 20 years or whatever. How big a signing is that? Because apart from obviously Haaland absolutely ripping up for Man City, if you can't take him away, obviously it kind of depends on what Villa do for the rest of the season. If they do push up into the top half and towards Europe, you've got to be looking at someone like Kamara as like a Premier League player of the not like a signing of the year for the league as a whole, not just for Villa.
Has the rest of the world noticed him yet? Because when hopefully they do, that's when we got our struggle.
Yeah, hopefully not. I saw a tweet from somebody before saying if Man City are watching, he's rubbish. Don't care about Kamara. He's no good. He's no good.
I think he's a top 4 midfielder.
100%.
So
Martinez is a top 4 goalkeeper, and that's a problem if Villa don't become a top 4 club or a trophy winning club.
The only way we become anything like that is by raising the standards within the dressing room, or our recruitment just being spot on.
Yeah,
either both things are a massive challenge, aren't they? So I think I don't want to start really touting our players around elsewhere, but we've just got to enjoy these players while we've got them, to be honest, and hope that we can match their ambitions.
Have you forgiven the Stevenage defeat now? Are you over it?
I'm not over that corner still yet. I'm still. Yeah. I will get over that. The day that we lift the FA Cup, I will get over that. But yeah, it was nice to be back at Villa Park because when was the last time we won at Villa Park? Before tonight, was it?
I can find out because I'm on the Villa website looking at.
Was it his first game?
Yeah. That's mad, isn't it? 6th of November was the last time we won at Villa Park. Obviously, it's a bigger gap because of the World Cup, but yeah, that's ridiculous, isn't it? We won at home against Brentford before when Danks was there. Won against Man United, beat Brighton away, beat Chelsea. We were technically as a home side, but it was a friendly in Abu Dhabi or wherever it was. Lost to Liverpool, drew with Wolves, won tonight. Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? 6th of November, the last time we won a...
Were we technically the home side in Abu Dhabi?
Well, on the Villa website, we're listed
They
as
put
the
us
home
first.
side, yeah. Yeah, they put us first, whether that means anything or not. In terms of the fixtures coming up then to round off the show, Southampton, Leicester, Man City, Arsenal, Everton are the next 5. That sees us to the end of February, which is a long way to go yet. Still got 2 weeks of the transfer window as well. If we just go for the next 2, Southampton and Leicester, Southampton away next Saturday, 21st, and Leicester City 2 Saturdays after that. Yeah, the 4th of February, because there's a gap for the FA Cup weekend, which obviously we're not in. So what's we're talking about Emery getting 13 points from 18. What are we looking at for the next stage? Is it 17 points from 23 or whatever it is? Is he got to win both?
So how many games? You talking at the next 5 games?
Talking about the next 5. So Southampton, Leicester, Man City, Arsenal, Everton. 2 of those are at home, Arsenal and Leicester.
I don't know. You'd probably take... Would you take 8?
7?
I don't know, 7 or 8?
I think you'd like to beat Southampton because they're bottom of the league, but it is at their place and they've just beat Man City in the cup. You'd want to beat Leicester because it's your home game. So put that down for, say, 4 out of those, winning a draw in whatever order they come. Man City and Arsenal, I don't like to say just write them off, but obviously anything can happen, but kind of write them off. Then you'd want to beat Everton as well because they look like Villa from 2016. They look like they could be in trouble. So 7 points from 15 is okay. I think we're 25 points now, aren't we, at the halfway point? 19 games, 25 points. So if we were to do the same again, we're on course for a 50-point season. And I'd like to think we'd be better in the second half than we were in the first bit of Gerrard's time as well. So can we get more than 55 points? Our record from the last couple of years ago, maybe?
We can. I think, it's on those again. You think, where are we in the table now?
Well, I put that we moved up to 11th and someone said that we were 11th already, which annoys me. I don't like it when you win and you don't move up the table. So we're 11th. We've got the same points as Chelsea, who are 10th. They've got 25 points.
Listen, if we're being greedy, we'd like to think. I mean, life doesn't work like this. We'd like to think that we can beat Leicester, we can beat Southampton, and we can beat Everton. Yeah. That's 9, and then you try and get a point. We got a point out of Man City at home, and last season we took a 2-0 lead against them. And Arsenal have been, Arsenal have kind of had the better of us, but they've had the better of most teams. Most teams lately anyway. So 9 points would be, I think 9 points would probably be north of what I'd expect we can get if we finish. If we got 7 from those 5, I wouldn't think that's a disaster. And the rate that he's been accumulating points anyway, I still think there's a lot more from this team.
100%.
I really do. I think that if they can, like I say, if they can exert that control and not just rely on these little mini moments, but actually kind of build up periods of pressure against teams. I think we can start to dominate football matches, but I still think it's it's a bit disjointed for me, and I've got much lower standards than Unai Emery, so he must think it's very disjointed as well. But yeah, what's the highest we've finished since we got back in the Prem? 11th.
Yeah. That was the 55-point season, I think, Grealish's last year. So if you can, if you got 55 points again, you'd probably finish higher than 11th because that was a bit of a freak season. But just you look at the table and see, obviously Newcastle have gone a little bit ahead. You look at somebody like Fulham, who are in 6th on 31 points, and think, what a great season they're having. But now we're only 6 points behind them, which doesn't sound terrible. It makes us sound better than you think we've done. So, if we continue kind of chipping away and getting 10 points from every 18 or something like that as an average for the next 19 games.
Same points as Chelsea now,
Yeah, well, that says more about them than us.
No, I know it does, but and it shows what a poor judge of character I am. But I was raving about Graham Potter when they came to Villa Park and beat us earlier in the season, and we're a point behind Brentford, and that would sound silly to anybody in the last 20 years. But now, this season, when Brentford have been, hailed as one of the kind of surprise packages of the Premier League, so there's a lot up for grabs. And I think that the fact that we're able to pick up, I mean, it's mad that we've not won at home since Man United, but the fact that we've picked up. So what's that? 4. So from 18 points, what did you say we've got? We've got
13.
13 from 18. I don't think we've played. I thought we played exceptionally well against Manchester United in the league. I thought we did a really good job. The away wins at Brighton and at Spurs were very, very good, strong away performances. And tonight was scrappy, but we did enough. I still think outside of the Man United game, we're probably looking at kind of 7 and 8 out of 10 performances when we've won. I think if Villa conjure up a couple of 9 out of 10 performances, I think beating 11th place and eclipsing 55 points is well within our grasp.
Yeah, agreed.
Will we do that, or are we a team that are of our level at the moment?
Well, we're 10 points off relegation and 10 points off the top 4. So we're slap bang in the middle between the two
Which
ends
is
of the
about on
league.
par for me. It's kind of where we're at.
I mean, if we'd have beat Wolves, we'd be on 27 now. That Leon Bailey miss, that would have put us up to 8th. 9th. But yeah, it's fine margins, isn't it? There's games where we should have won. There's games that we probably could have lost. Like tonight, we could quite easily have had that game finish as a draw tonight. Chances lead out in the first half. But yeah, I think if you beat Southampton and draw to Leicester or something like that, and you get four points out of the next 2, and you can nick something against Arsenal or Man City, and then definitely beat Everton as well. I think that's a pretty good return.
Just to quickly, because we're going to go soon, I know, but earlier I just saw a few people slagging Jesse Marsch in the.
A few comments were saying about it. I've annoyed him. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I don't really show him too much.
His body language, in it, and his hand gestures and stuff like that. I don't mind somebody who's kind of active on the touchline. He was very busy in berating the fourth official and the lino, and he's very passionate. I don't mind it when we win. If they'd have won, I'd have thought he was like the spawn of Satan. But I don't mind you getting a little bit excitable during that.
Could you see Emery's celebration from where you were? Were you not looking?
No, I saw in the comments somebody said we should have an Emery cam because he's great value, but I didn't. To be honest, I was probably too busy kind of jumping up and down and whatever. What was it like?
Proper fist
at the end of the match, or for the goals, or
for the goal? I think for Buendia's goal after. I don't know whether it was. Obviously, they just showed the replay afterwards, so I don't know whether it was when it first went in or whether it was from the VAR. Proper giving it turn around to the stand and proper giving it 3 or 4 proper big fist bumps. That's it. I think, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's.
So I can go to bed.
That slice of pizza. Oh, what? I thought I'd lost my phone tonight. So, so I enjoyed the win and I enjoyed the sense of relief when we won. But then it was the kind of the hurried walk back to the car to see whether I got like a hoodie on, a jumper on, my jeans on, a coat on, and I've got checking my pockets.
Pants and socks as well. Did you have on and shoes?
No, nothing else, mate. Nothing else. But it was there. It was there in the car.
You left it in the car?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You get through all those emotions, you think, well, God, I've got some really terrible photos. Not anything seedy. Some really terrible photos on there I don't want anybody to see. All of my, I probably shouldn't say this in case I do lose my phone, but all of access to all my socials, all my work emails and all this kind of thing, a very simple to crack password.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4?
I will now be making a lot more secure. And I just thought, so I had a double win tonight. It was a double dub tonight.
Have you got something in the notes app of all your passwords for different websites as well?
Oh, probably, yeah. They're probably Let's not go too much into my security.
What's your mother's maiden name in the name of your first pet?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, good decision.
Tiddles and tiddles.
Let's call it a night there. Thanks everyone for tuning us live on Friday night, almost turning Saturday. Nice to have the weekend not ruined by the football, isn't it? A couple of days to enjoy the weekend and live off a Villa win. It is Southampton next Saturday, the 21st, if I remembered right. I am expecting a child at some point, so whether I'm here for the next podcast or not, who knows? But yeah, we'll see what happens. I probably won't be here by the time the Leicester game rolls around. I might not be able to go to Villa Park for a while now. Last game I went to feels like ages ago. Wolves might have been my last game. Seeing Leon Bailey miss that at the end might have been the last thing I see for a while in the flesh. It's a shame, isn't it?
Stay away, mate. We won tonight, so it was good to not have you there. So I hope you get well soon.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go to bed straight after this. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Matt, for joining me. If you're watching this on Catch Up tomorrow, leave a like down below and leave a comment and all those kind of things. We appreciate you as always. And we'll be back with something in the week if I'm still working. If I'm not, we'll work a plan to maybe do a transfer session or something.
How hard can it be to get somebody to press the buttons? We'll get somebody to do that.
Even you should be able to do it.
Not me, mate. Not me.
But John and Ash did the preview yesterday because I was off and at the hospital yesterday. So I said I'll just treat this as like a trial run for when I'm not here. And as far as I know, that went pretty well. So John and Ash and you, between the three of you, should be able to cover me for a couple of weeks. So it might just be like a deadline day episode and the Leicester game and maybe the Man City game, and then I might be back. But yeah, it depends when he comes, depends how long I get off and whatever else happens.
Well, get well soon, and I know I'll speak to you before then, but good luck with welcoming little Emiliano into the world as well.
It's baby Boubacar now. That's what I'm going with. My partner actually said when she came upstairs, she said something like, I went to tell her that we were starting, and she's like, I thought you'd finished. I was like, no, we haven't even started yet. And she's like, oh, little baby might see him get into Europe and win a trophy, haven't they? And I was like, where did that come from?
All I can say is I hope your little baby loves the boob as much as the rest of us do anyway, because we're all massive fans of the boob here. So on that note, are we done?
We're done, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again in the week. Ta-ra.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue and Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your thoughts and comments. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.